Oh my gosh, you're not gonna make more food, are you?
Yeah. We have new things.
I know, but do you... Wait. We have so much food. We have to feed the dragon.
No, the dragon's full right now.
Dragon's like, I haven't eaten in a week. I can see through the walls.
Don't bother asking why I'm making this at midnight. Neither of you matter.
Okay. Okay.
Oh my god! How do I do it on computer? W doesn't work, arrow doesn't work. What is the up button?
I'm looking.
I'm going to bed. Fuck this shit, I'm
To
out.
feed your dragon, you must personally prepare its food. So first, go to the kitchen, cook a dish. The meal will be automatically stored in your inventory on the dishes menu.
I learned 3 new recipes. Take that, old man.
So there should be a dishes menu somewhere.
Processed fruit, vegetables, that's food storage. Okay. It's I! I is how you do it!
How many eggs do we have? 3 eggs, pancakes, 2 steaks. We're gonna fatten this dragon up. Shove it in its stupid gorb. Cram it in there.
Stop!
I'm here to blow out everybody's headphones. Dragon's like, I haven't eaten in a week. I can see through the walls.
Yes, you can, buddy. You absolutely can. Remember,
I can
everyone,
count my
feed your
ribs.
dragons.
Oh my gosh, you're not gonna make more food, are you?
Yeah. We have new things.
I know, but do you... Wait. We have so much food. We have to feed the dragon.
No, the dragon's full right now. We feed the
It ate our love.
He's full on our love. I don't see the issue here. He's fine.
Rice porridge. Wonderful. Slightly sweet rice porridge. It's rice porridge. It's supposed to be sweet.
Where the fuck did the dragon
Where's
go?
the
There
dragon? Dragon's like, do you have any idea how hard it is to operate an elevator when you're 6 inches tall? My wings are not functional.
Yeah, I see.
Neither
It didn't do anything. There was no point.
There's nothing. There's no point in anything. This is an empty, hollow. No point. Carrot! Okay, here we go.
This is the only,
Left, right, right.
Do you hear the music?
Left, right, left. No.
It's going doom bop, the doom bop bop, the doom bop, the doom bop bop. Out of nowhere.
I can't hear any of the music. I hear none of the audio. It's what gives me the clarity to make such sick riffs. Get rid of the eggs. We don't need eggs on the menu. People don't want eggs. The people want salad.
The people want salad.
The people want salad.
So in my D&D game tonight,
Yes.
somebody off screen was told that salad was part of their meal for the night. And they went, what? No, salad sucks. It's the worst. And all I could think is, I wonder how often Noah eats salad as a vegetarian.
I mean, like, yeah, pretty regularly, gonna be honest. I mean, not that it's very nutritionally dense or anything, it just has a nice bit of variety of meal. Like, I don't know, am I the only one that would find it really boring if it was just an entree? Like, so yeah, usually it's like, here's the casserole, and here's a salad, and here's some steamed vegetables, and that's a pretty basic meal at the DC household.
We have fun on this show. We have fun.
We have fun on this show. We have some really fun, elaborate backstories. Everybody can stay at home and fill out their character sheets with us. And like, wow, they're really boring. So, what do you think? In addition to kind of growing up and trying to decide who you're going to ally with in your dragon game, what else do you think would make for interesting? Let's talk mechanics specifically. Like, literally, what do you think you ought to be doing in a fun dragon game?
Flying absolutely is a need.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
Flying absolutely.
Essential.
I hate it. I hate it. When you're playing a dragon game and you can't even, like, your dragon doesn't even fly. Like, what? What the fuck? Like, not all dragons need to fly. Some can swim, and fucking some can dig really well. What the fuck ever, I don't care. Just have some of that.
It is weird.
Have there be a scene where, like, a dragon... if you choose a dragon that can dig really well, oh, look, they've dug all the way under the town. Like, and you have to go into the caves and find them, where you are the dragon and you're creating the caves to try and help find, like, stuff that's valuable underneath, or something.
You gotta be a worm of Arrakis for the day.
Or, like, if it's a water dragon and you want to add variety, then have there be an area where they can swim at and see what happens underwater.
It is definitely weird that just flying seems like such a big ask for so many video games. I mean, I know that it, like, is a massive mechanic that really has forced you to, like, radically shift how you think about the design of the world and the challenge, but also, like, I don't know, it seems like in a dragon game, getting around isn't going to be the challenge. Usually. Yeah. Like, if you are fighting a thing, the challenge is going to be the thing trying to stop you, and they probably shouldn't be too effective at it, or they need to resort to some pretty extreme... Oh my goodness.
I killed that motherfucker. I got its liver. How many livers do you have?
I think also for me, for dragon game, I think that there should be a certain degree to which you have to think of the dragon as a kaiju, personally. Like, I would like there to be at least some element of the game. Maybe that's not the main gameplay loop through the whole time, but I think that there ought to be a function by which I can be a massive, massive, you know, cover of a D&D handbook kind of dragon. Breathing fire on a massive city, doing full Godzilla nonsense to them. That is part of the dragon fantasy to me.
I think that would be really interesting. And, like, for the kind of game I was talking about, like, that could even work. It could be a kind of Skyrim setup where if you destroy a town or you breathe fire down randomly on not just trees, but on crops or individuals or life or food, then the town remembers that, and they're more likely to attack you on sight next time you fly by.
Sort of do like an emergent mechanic sort of thing. We get a Shadow of Mordor sort of thing going on where, like, each town is going to slowly, like, oh man, you stretch the timeline a bit, and so, like, over the centuries, like, you will become legends in different towns that you've, like, gone and done things to. Like, let me get entrenched in the mythology of the world. Yes. That's the thing about so many, so many games are about, like, you're coincidentally just happen to be the one human that matters in the whole world, or, you know, elf or orc or whatever. You just happen to be the one humanoid person that matters. When you're a dragon, the default assumption is that you're the most important living creature within 100 miles.
You're
And
also
that
the
means you,
apex predator, so
yeah,
automatically you're
exactly.
assuming no one can step to you.
Nobody can step to me unless they're really trying hard and really willing to take a pounding. And also, like, everybody's gonna default assume that what I want is important. That's like great power fantasy, super easy access to get into that without any convoluted, made up, Dovahkiin chosen warriors of light Keyblade boy nonsense. Like, no, that's just part and parcel of the dragon gig.
Also, isn't like half the Keyblade owners just reincarnations?
Yeah, you don't mess with that. Dragons don't reincarnate, they just keep going on. They're just alive forever. Or they're related to each other. You can have that. I think it'd be fun to have the dragons have really complicated, like, intermarriages because there just can't be that many dragons.
I think there absolutely could be,
Mm-hmm.
but there's not that many dragons in a specific area of the game where you're playing at.
I
think
suppose that makes sense.
because you have to limit it in some way,
Yeah.
unless you just want to build a completely massive game that's just too big to manage. But if you want to limit it, then it could be that you have one area, this is your area, this has always been your area, you're not going to go, like, you want to keep it. If you leave, then someone else will take it and you no longer have it anymore.
It'd be interesting, like, if you did a game where you're sort of set in a specific territory and are dealing with, like, the kingdoms and nations within that kind of loose territory, I'd want the borders to have some interesting stuff going on with how it relates to, like, the dragons on the other side of the border. Like, maybe if you spend a bit too much time off in the west, there's, some specific dragon that that you have a history with that will come along and be like, hey, what are you doing over here? You want to back off? But, like, in a friendly, dragony sort of way where
I was
only if
actually
you're,
just
like...
thinking, like, if there are other dragons in the world,
Mhm.
and they all have to, and they're all gonna have, like, relationships and interactions with each other,
Mhm.
then what if the intercomplicated relationships between the dragons can kind of mirror that of humans? And if you spend too much time hanging out with some of them, then wrong ideas can be had.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And
That really
automatic,
introduces...
yeah, so if you spend, like, too much time in the West, not only does your close friend kind of wonder if maybe you're trying to encroach on their territory, but also, like, maybe there are rumors going around about you abandoning yours.
And that, like, introduces some, like, younger dragons, some up-and-comers that think they can come in on your horde.
Yeah, because maybe you joined another dragon and their horde instead.
That would be interesting. And that really does get into, like, part of what would be, like, the big fantasy of playing a big giant dragon, or a dragon that does eventually become a big giant super significant dragon. Because the only thing that's significant to a dragon is other dragons. I mean, they're not as significant as yourself, because as a dragon, one assumes that you assume that you're the most important dragon in the world.
You know, when you play any other I'm the chosen one bullshit.
But there's a certain bit of fun to be had when you introduce the element. Like, no, there are other chosen ones. These are the people that can absolutely wreck you. Potentially. And, like, you don't want to mess with them needlessly, and they probably don't want to mess with you needlessly. So don't do anything foolish.
So something that I've noticed, something that could really make that interesting is if there was an element of... No, actually, we already went over that. Never mind.
Oh, yeah?
I was getting into a cycle where I was adding more details to support my earlier thoughts on inter-dragon relationships. So yeah, never mind. Scratch that. It's late. I'm kind of tired. I might repeat myself occasionally. It happens. But, I think it would be really, really interesting because not only are there no chosen one among dragons, but they are inherently hard to kill. They're inherently unstoppable by normal means. Like, there is something to be said about the power play, but also dragons live for a really, really long time. So what if, even if you befriend other dragons, they might be dead by the next stage of the game. And there's nothing you can do to stop that because, hey, shit happens. Dragons don't have, in a lot of settings, like, dragons don't have really personal interconnected communities. Because, you know, the stereotypical thing being that, not stereotypical, the genre, convention, cliche, whatever you want to call it, being that dragons are solitary creatures because a horde of dragons is even more unstoppable than a single one. So I think that would be another really interesting aspect where, like, hey, you could have these really great, really close friends of yours in the game, but you never know when's going to be the last moment you see them. Are you there? Am I on a phone call by myself? Noah.
Yeah.
Are you there?
Yeah.
Oh, you weren't saying anything, so I thought maybe I was talking to myself.
I didn't hear anything you said. I just was seeing the gameplay, and then you froze up for a second there.
Okay, I was saying, okay, that makes sense, because you weren't responding at all. What the fuck are the birds doing? They're gonna kill us. The birds are gonna kill us all.
I think they're scared of something coming to kill them.
Maybe. But, something I was saying that a really interesting part of dragons is because the reason why, like, the genre cliche or trope is that they are lone creatures is because what's more unstoppable than a single dragon is a horde of dragons. Which is why they have to be so territorial and so alone, because how else are people going to defeat them? But if you're a dragon, what's more concerning to you? One dragon or a horde as well? So I think
so there's an inclination narratively to make sure that your neighbors don't get too cozy. You have to do a bit of rumor mongering or whatever.
Yeah, that, and also I think it would be really interesting is, like, even if the dragons you choose to befriend don't, like, if they randomly die at different stages of the game, and, like, you have no way of stopping it, and you don't even, like, see them die, you just hear rumors of it, and you realize you're never going to see that character again. Like, I think that could also be really interesting, because another really powerful, another aspect of dragons that make them really powerful is their long-lived, is their ages. How long they live.
Yeah. And so that introduces some serious, you know, pathos, like the classic, oh, I've known them for hundreds and thousands of years, and now they're gone. Oh boy, how am I going to deal with that?
Yeah.
That is interesting. And I think you're right, kind of the secret to a lot of kind of narrative potential to kind of expand upon just the simple foundation of what if basic fantasy dragon is just like, what if the other dragons? And honestly, that interests me a lot more than, like, I'll admit, than like baby dragon trying to decide what people I'm gonna ally with. I think that if we're gonna do it, we're gonna do whole hog. I don't care about the people at all. Eat, kidnap, do whatever. I care about that person in particular.
Yeah.
Because I want to know what's going on with this man, ᴗᴗᴖᴗᴖᴗᴖ over here.
I was wondering if the conversation had switched.
Harry Potter meets Willy Wonka, meets an orc.
As you may have gathered from my appearance, I love all things beautiful and cute. This cafe is rather nice. It is perfect. It is the perfect respite for someone like myself. I have been searching for a secret hideout just like this one. Alas, there is no place so secret, so hidden that could obscure my magnificent charm. Which seat is worthy? I like how he's like, there's no other place that could hide his magnificent charm. It makes me kind of wonder if, like, this is the only place where he can stand out.
Are you suggesting that he's really boringly dressed relative to the other orcs?
Yeah, I am. I'm saying he's got no style compared to the others.
Aw, he's a loser.
Oh my gosh, I hate Billy.
And when she passes, each time she passes, I go. Ah. Looks like it's all up to you, specifically.
I was like, Blazikenason, when have you ever done anything?
What should we make for him? He seems to have some pretty high expectations, too. I know, you can make that terrible egg.
That was Mom's favorite dish.
Mom only said that because she knew that you didn't know how to cook.
I don't know if you're dragging Blazikenason or is Blazikenason dragging us.
I think Blazikenason is dragging us.
Fuck him. He doesn't get to. He doesn't cook. Mom only asked me to cook because you can't cook for shit. I'm never choosing cabbages again. They go up! What the fuck was this last one?
So mechanically, like, obviously we'd want like some role-playing talkie-talkie elements, you know.
Yeah, that's very clear. But I think like the flying, the digging, and the and swimming could be really fun aspects. Like, yeah, they offer different places you can hunt. You can hunt for birds out of the sky or fish out of the water.
I definitely think that there are. Oh yeah, hunting is a mechanic too. You know, that introduces a whole new third pillar of who you're interacting with. People, dragons, and animals.
And such, yeah.
Ooh, if we introduce like a sort of permanent alterations to the map, like you can go out and you could, you know, breathe fire and destroy a countryside, you gotta be careful, because what if it destroys the main source of all the deer that you eat, or whatever?
Yeah. And like, now that could get really complicated if we went too far with it. So something that would make it a little bit simpler is that if you burn an area, there's a certain amount of time where that area cannot grow anything.
Yeah, something like that, exactly. And I don't think it'd be too complicated to be like, to do it.
If you set an in-game timer on it, it shouldn't be too complicated.
I don't even think it would need like an explicit some sort of timer, mechanically or otherwise. And I don't think it needs to be complicated. I think that if we're doing this over,
he's just gonna be a chef. Okay.
Okay.
Who the fuck threw that?
What is she doing? When are you gonna learn? I can't believe she's killing him finally.
In his life, go for it.
Take his life for my
know.
entertainment.
I have no idea why. Oh, when you right-click, it skips stuff.
Oh yeah, that sounds great. It is. I shine bright like a diamond. Shine bright like a diamond.
You're gonna be seeing stars when I'm done with you, motherfucker.
Yes, like a star. Once I become Harry Potter, the cafe will overflow with my Rita Skeeter glasses. And then my Willy Wonka coat and my nose hat are gonna go flying off into the stratosphere.
Can I get a little help? Fuck you!
Ipanema, please, let's talk about. And then it's just his dead body. It's settled. It's nice to meet you. My name is Ludicolo, and I really do look amazing when I'm cooking. Let me demonstrate my favorite posse.
Well, you are doing that on purpose.
What a ruckus. It's amazing how much to see in this cafe. It might have been lonely for the twins at first, but if everyone can work together, I'm positive they'll be able to save their mother.
Okay, this is not us. This is that old man. This is that old man talking.
Go get them, kids.
Oh my gosh, we got an achievement! LDC is officially in business.
Oh, did we just need to hire 3 people?
Yeah. I should have read that.
You really should have. Though not as cute as me. I think that if we want to... I think you could, like, back on the dragon game, you could probably divide it into, you know, the basic talkie talk section, but also have a loose open world where you can do your flying and you're swimming around and you're interacting with, you know, randomly generated wildlife that's connected to the terrain that you can augment with your dragoniness. Throw in some people there with their own kind of business. Maybe people don't necessarily have to be connected into the open world. It could be like, you know, a JRPG where you walk up to a town and suddenly you're at a close-up of the town.
Yeah.
Zoom in, fly around, threaten people, talk to the king, steal a princess. I want a dedicated steal a nobility button. I want to make sure that I can take away a prince, princess, duke, baron, whatever.
Listen, this lord was trying to marry his daughter off against her will, so I'm just gonna take him.
I am just going to abscond with him.
Nobody's gonna stop me, right? No, I didn't think so.
I'm going to eat the rich. This is the eat the rich run.
This is the eat the rich run.
And then, yeah, I think it'd be easy enough if you've built up the whole infrastructure for flying around, breathing fire, doing dragony stuff, or digging or swimming or whatever. Those basic mechanics should be pretty, like, setting that as a kind of action-y flying. I guess I'm basing it mostly in flying because I'm thinking just specifically very generic kind of European, you know, dragon setup.
Yeah.
But if you just, like, for the sake of simplicity, stuck with just that, and you give it a pretty thorough, like, here's our dragon flight simulator game with a couple of on-the-ground, you know, mechanics, so you can be a dragon tank if you want to be boring. And you could use that in a way that you could tie that into a number of different, like, basic interactions. You know, you could have it flying around, trying to hunt, trying not to scare your prey, or trying to sort out a herd. You could have it flying around, trying not to get hit by ballista.
You can start flying in the middle of a fight with another dragon, and use that to get the upper hand.
Yeah,
you gotta think about how battle's going to happen.
Dragon flights would be basically just dog fights in a flight simulator, because you're mostly just flying, except we have to introduce some sort of, like, yeah, mid-air grapple mechanic or something. But by and large, the same, like, basic tools could fit throughout the three main interaction pillars that we've established here.
Yeah. Hey, we got another achievement, colorful menu.
Oh boy. Stir-fried vegetables. We have half a star. These must be like the terrible mole stir-fried vegetables. You know what's soul-crushing as a vegetarian? When the only vegetarian options are terrible. Like, you mentioned salads earlier. There's this terrible thing that will happen if you're a vegetarian around people that aren't used to being around vegetarians that, like, have no thoughts whatsoever. It can happen where, like, somebody will be like, ooh, we gotta go out and have a fancy dinner. Let's be fun and celebrate together. Let's go to what I think is a fancy dinner. Let's go to, like, a steakhouse or something for the fancy dinner. The fancy dinner you get at a steakhouse. Let us take our vegetarian friend to the fancy dinner at a steakhouse. And then you get there to the fancy dinner at the steakhouse. And it'll be like, oh boy, you can have a salad. But they have, like, one salad that doesn't have meat on it.
Oh shit, we're running out of ingredients. We gotta go.
Oh boy.
That sounds horrible.
It has not happened to me personally. It has happened to family members, though. And it's just this sort of like, that's not how meals work. Salads are great. They're fine. They're fine, really. There's nothing wrong with a good salad.
But it's not a meal.
But they're not. It's not a meal. It's not a fancy meal, certainly. It's certainly not comparable to a steak.
Oh,
come on now. Like, you think that I'm delusional? I'm just vegetarian. These are separate.
I never realized how many, like, great vegetarian dishes there was until my friend Shelby decided to try and do a vegan diet for a bit of time.
It is like,
and
good food.
Her dishes were so great, and like she would cook them after inviting me over, and she would share it and try and get my opinions on them, and they were so good. I don't even like cauliflower, but she did things with cauliflower that made me crave it, like, to this day. I hate cauliflower. I can't stand it. But when Shelby uses it in a dish, mwah, I fucking love it. It's my favorite thing.
And I think the essential thing is that, you know, you can be... I have not had to prove it firsthand, personally, but it is my conviction that that despite what, like, vegan bloggers or whatever would have you think, it's actually, like, possible, although certainly I'm willing to admit, not necessarily always consistently true, that you can eat vegetarian or vegan on a relatively limited budget. Like, you can make casseroles out of vegetables, you know, or veggie meat, or whatever you have on hand. You can get in there. It doesn't have to be whatever fancy cutting edge thing that you saw on, you know, Instagram. There is a way to make it accessible and relatable and really, really tasty.
Yeah, I think you're right. There are ways to definitely make it accessible, but I do think there's
definitely an added price.
There's definitely an added price to everything that isn't really quick microwavable food.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's just with, like, vegetarian or vegan meals. I feel like that's with everything. I'm not a vegetarian. I've never been a vegetarian. I will probably never be a vegetarian unless, like, you know, serious health condition happens. And I can't eat meat anymore. But, I don't know what health condition that could be, but who knows? There's probably one.
It would take medical intervention to stop you from getting that sweet, sweet nug.
I love pork. I love pork and beef. Pork specifically is my favorite, though. Like, steak is good.
I don't hear many people advocating for pork specifically.
Like, steak is good, but I'm a cheap-ass motherfucker, and I love pork. Steak is really pricey to make, and then, like, you don't always like how it turns out. And, you only get, like, a couple slices for $20. With pork, you can get so many slices for $20. I'm a cheapskate in some elements. But, like, there is a issue where if I want to make a quick and easy meal, it's either I microwave it, or I'm spending...
I want you to say that word again. I'm sorry. I know that we do
I either microwave it, or, yeah, because it's microwave.
I thought you said Michael Wave. I definitely heard you say Michael Wave. I must be the Discord messing with audio. I was like, I'm sorry, what new discovery have we come across?
What word are we picking apart today?
Okay. Tigereyes has once again defied all of linguistics and is going rogue again.
This is why I'm not a linguistic anthropologist.
You're the bad boy in the English department.
I took one linguistic class, and all it did was prove to me that I do not have the ear to pick apart the different parts and words other people say.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, we were doing a section over ancient English.
Oh, yeah?
And we were supposed to identify, like, which one has the A sound. And I couldn't tell the fucking E and A apart in ancient English. Like, they sounded the same in my ear. I couldn't. I was not able to. And my teacher looked at me, and she was like, okay, well, what about this? And, like, she had me find, like, it was like a k sound and then an sound. And I was like, yeah, that's a difference. And she was like, it's just this you can't hear? And I'm like, yeah, there's no difference there. I don't know what the test is, but I'm failing it, okay? I passed that class. It was like a C. Oh, man. I really enjoyed the teacher, but I did not have the ear for it. And all the homework was listening to words and dissecting them by their sounds. So, like, there was a section that was, and this is just a random example, I don't remember what specifically it was, but you had to listen to the word, and then you had to not write how the word was spelled, but the sounds in it. And so it was something like black.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would spell it out. Well, that's an F at the beginning. Okay. LAC. And then that would be a K at the end. Flack. But you're supposed to, like... It was supposed to be something like a PH is what it actually was, not an F sound. And, like, shit like that. And I just have no fucking ear for it.
Just sort of a nuanced phonetical listening that is just a totally unrelated muscle.
I just don't have it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've never... To me, there was not a difference. But I run into this problem with people's names sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, people have R's in their names, as you do. I have one, too. And I'll pronounce it like I pronounce R's. And then they'll correct me several times on how to say their name. And I try really, really hard to say the R's in their names. And I just don't pronounce it the same way as them. And I just... It's... Like...
Can you, like, name an example name that, like, the R is different? Like, you don't have to pronounce the R right, just, like, how you would say it.
Like, fucking, there was a kid in one of my classes named Israel.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would always say his name like that, Israel. But apparently there's supposed to be more R, there was a more emphasis on the R in his name.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't pronounced exactly like Israel, but it was spelled the same way as Israel.
Mm-hmm.
And I struggled so much with that. Raul is another one I really have a hard time pronouncing.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's that phonetic difference in how, like, R's are pronounced in Spanish than in English.
Mm-hmm.
That is... I was never even able to grasp that in Spanish class. In high school, I took 4 years of Spanish, and I passed it with an A every year, and I still never was able to pronounce the R's the way they're supposed to be pronounced. R's and TH's. I just don't... When I was a kid, that was, like, part of the big problem I had with my speech therapy. I never pronounced the H and TH sounds. I just put all emphasis on the T, and I just ignored the H, because the H, I didn't have an ear for it. And it took a lot to fix that. And still sometimes I default to still not pronouncing the H. Unless I'm consciously thinking about it, I still sometimes cut it out. You could do this at any point in time! Why are you just doing it now?
We need the extra room.
But we have 3 extra rooms. We had 3 extra rooms. Oh, he turned us into an inn.
Oh boy.
He said, now you can rent out rooms. Here you go. We're gonna go explore it.
I was wondering why they had several extra floors. Is this the inn? Is this the inn now?
Yeah, this is the inn now.
Huh.
We can't go into our our employees' rooms, but we can go into the customers.
Is this what Blazikenason is gonna do? Take care of the rooms? Do you have any idea how much work it is to maintain an inn?
I have no idea. I don't really want to think about it. I don't think Blazikenason's going to do anything. Okay, so we could go into this room. But we couldn't go into them earlier. Oh, I like her room. I like all the purple. I wish our room looked like that.
Okay.
Oh, fuck this guy.
What?
It is literally... Oh, it is everything I expected his room to be.
Man, his music taste is really basic, isn't it?
It really is.
We've been going at it We've been going at this for a while now. It is
Oh,
now
holy
past midnight.
Holy shit! I thought we were only gonna play for an hour.
How long have we been going?
I don't know.
We've been going for about 2 hours now, which is
Oh.
a lot longer than I wanted or intended. I hope
Yeah.
people have enjoyed this or enjoy this in the future.
This was fun, but we are definitely done for the night.
We're dead. We're very dead. We both have like lives and like occupations to get to.
I have class tomorrow.
I have a job. I have a job. I've got to be like ready for Zoom meetings in, you know, in about 9 hours. So
is there any like last minute things we want to say?
If anybody wants to work with us to design that dragon game, links in the description. Hit us up. Want to see a portfolio of prior work.
I mean, we have portfolios. I actually am working on a visual novel game right now.
Ooh.
I'm not doing the programming, I'm doing the writing for it, but yeah, I'm excited.
Oof. Man, there was a time, like almost 2 years ago, when I had some basic Ren'Py skills. Those are long gone.
Oh man, you can work through them again. Anyways,
I'm sure.
That's gonna be it for tonight. Please don't forget, everyone, we are going to be doing a year anniversary for the podcast episode where we are going to be talking about Dune, the book. We're talking about the book. We're not doing the movie.
We'll do the movie later. Right now, we're working through a very thick book. Pay no attention to the movie-based cover art I have here. I am not halfway through it, but I should be because we've got a lot to go through. I've got like 500 more pages.
And instead, you spent 2 hours watching me play a dragon game.
Instead, I spent 2 hours watching a very boring dragon game. I'm sure it gets better. I'm sure it's really endearing if you're not being a cynical loser, just staring at it for way too long.
I had fun. I find the jokes to make it twice as much fun.
I'm glad that it's fun. I think that we're engaging with this on a very different level than intended by the designers. But it is definitely engaging. I look forward to this tower being exponentially taller.
I just realized the tower is the elevator.
Oh.
We were both staring at the tower, and I realized it was the elevator. You were like, wait, that's too tall.
Why do you think it's taller?
That's because it's the elevator shaft. Anyways, you go get some rest. Have a nice night, everybody.
Everybody have a good noggin.